guys, this is Psycho, and in this video I want to show you the gear that I use for doing a MP10 run with my Witch Doctor in the Keep level 2. So let's start with the offensive part. A key item of this build is the Scorn that I use. The Scorn has not also high DPS, it also has Life Leech, which is very important, I think, because it's kind of the only way to get as much Life Leech. A Scorn has several advantages over a combination of a Mojo and a one-hand weapon. First of all, it obviously has more Life Leech. The best you can get otherwise is, I think, a Manajuma's knife with roughly 3% Life Leech. And another advantage is a Scorn is slower and has still the same damage per second. The advantage of being slower is that you need less mana while doing the same damage per second. You spawn zombie bears slower, and so your mana decreases less fast. This is very important for keeping your mana up. Another advantage of the high damage per hit from the Scorn is that your damage over time skills are doing more damage, which affects Grasp of the Dead as well as Locust Swarm. And because here only the weapon damage counts and not the damage per second, which is a common misconception, I think. Speaking of mana regeneration, another important point is that I use 4 parts of the Tsunimasa set: the helmet, the ring, the the chest armor and the boots. The 4-part set bonus provides a strong mana regeneration, 20 mana per second. I don't know if this build is possible without a strong mana regeneration. The downside of these parts is that you want crit chance on the ring and on the helmet, which can make the whole thing quite expensive, because it is also very important to boost your damage. All in all, I end up with 178k damage per second. This is almost the same as my damage per hit, because I don't really care about increased attack speed. The only increased attack speed that I have comes from the Witching Hour, this 9%, and from nowhere else. This is also because the thing that I said, with the mana regeneration, if you have more attack speed you will be fine, because it also cuts down the animation time of things like Mass Confusion and Grasp of the Dead, and also your zombie bears spawn a little faster, but it's not as necessary, and especially when you think about how more expensive it would be. If you have enough money to afford all those things, you can very well you very well can get as much increased attack speed as you want, but it doesn't really help you. So let's talk about the defenses. Defense is a very important thing when you want to run the Keep level 2, because they are fallen maniacs. Your defense can be kind of measured in terms of fallen maniacs one-shot, which means it's important to survive a fallen maniac one-shot, and if you cannot, that's kind of a problem. So you have to boost the defenses very high, because in MP10 those fallen maniacs are doing quite a bunch of damage. To achieve this, I use, as I showed you in my previous video, Jungle Fortitude, which gives me 15% damage reduction. And from the stats from my gear, I have 3.7k armor and, well, something over 700 resistances and 82k HP. My HP are pretty high, therefore my armor and my all resistances are quite low, because I don't know, somehow getting more HP happened to be kind of cheaper than getting the other defense stats. If you want to gear up for this run, you could have very well above 4k armor. Then you need to watch out that you get armor from rings and stuff like this. This, for example, has 250 armor, which is quite good. And you maybe also want to get a bit more resistances, because if you think about it, I have almost 3k to intelligence, so the bonus to all resist that I get from intelligence is almost the same as I get for my gear, which is, yeah, not that much, but it's okay. I also was pretty lucky with a craft on my amulet. There I have a 6% reduced melee damage protection. This is also very good. I think it also decreases the damage of the fallen maniacs. At least this would make sense to me. Yeah, I think that's everything about my gear that I have to say. And yeah, in the next video you will see how this build works in action.